And welcome back to the Weekly Tech Round with me, Jay.
And me, Karl.
Episode 207. Whoa. God,
Yes.
keeps on going up amazingly. So, it is Friday, finally. And, of course, this week we've been celebrating here, at least in Europe, Victory in Europe Day, which was yesterday, the 8th of May, which is 80 years. Can you believe it? Unbelievable, really, isn't it? Just,
It is.
And
we also celebrated May the 4th.
We did, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
I feel one of those may be slightly more important than the other, but I don't know.
The 4th, definitely. No, seriously. But yeah, let's not go there.
Talking of May the 4th, there was some Star Wars Lego that dropped. That new droid, if you like that new droid, I'm kind of keen on. But
does look good.
Yeah, but I don't get why they didn't release that for the 8th. Instead, it's
why did they not have that released for May the 4th? That would just have made sense.
Yeah, it just makes no sense at all, doesn't it? Which is going to be releasing in August, which is just nuts. I just don't understand.
Although that other Lego, the NASA one.
Yes.
The shuttle and the plane.
Yes, the 747 shuttle transportation system. Yes, that is rather cool.
And it wasn't too expensive either.
No, not at all. So it's that, and then in August I'll get that the K2SO security droid, which I'll have all the Lego.
You have to find some more space in your office, Joe. You might have to build an extension.
I may have to. No, more importantly, I may have to find some money. That may be the more important point.
Well, there's that too.
So this week we have got a roundup of all the latest tech news. Then first off, we're going to be kicking off this week with GTA 6, and this is not a rumor. I repeat, this is not a rumor. We're going to talk GTA 6. We're going to talk TikTok and another huge fine following on from last week's Apple and Meta fines. This one is in the same ballpark. Unsurprisingly, Fortnite is back on the iPhone. Well, not quite yet, but it will be, and more on that in a moment. Did you like Echo the Dolphin? Remember that? You know, Echo the Dolphin game on the Sega? On the, was it the Genesis or / Mega Drive, depending on your age?
Mega Drive, yeah.
Or where you came from, I should say. Yes, we'll talk Echo the Dolphin. And there was a new Microsoft hardware event in the last week as well. They've dropped some new devices, which are rather shiny. And to wrap up, we're going to talk around Apple's staggered release schedule for next year, or at least makes sense they may be having a staggered release schedule. Right then, let's kick off GTA 6 then. So, this is not a rumor. GTA 6 is coming out May 26, 2026, as confirmed by Rockstar.
Yes, no, that wasn't quite as planned, though.
No.
Because all along we've been told fall this year, haven't we?
It is.
Probably just in time for Christmas. But the bad news, it's now been pushed back till next year. But they have given us an actual date rather than a vague...
the vague window of doom, you know.
Exactly. So 26th of May next year. So that's still potentially 5, 6, 7 months after initially planned. But and 13 years after GTA 5.
Crazy, isn't it? Can you actually believe it?
Can't believe it's that been long.
Years.
How old are we?
Well, I was just thinking my eldest child would be the same age as the game that comes out.
Yeah, my eldest was only 2 when I started playing GTA 5. Oh, wow. But he still won't be quite old enough to play GTA 6.
No, of course not. I mean,
I'm pretty sure that's getting an 18 or an adult rating.
I mean, that was why when GTA 5 came out, I was allowed to play it around the baby because it wasn't going to cause any problems.
Exactly. You were fine. The baby wasn't picking anything up.
No.
But yeah, so Rockstar have confirmed that. They've obviously apologized. It's been delayed, but as it usually is with Rockstar, it will come out when it will come out, and they want to make sure it's kind of perfect. But they did give us some more information, though. They gave us a second trailer, which you can find on YouTube or on their website. But they also gave us a load of new information on the website about the characters and the locations. Now, it looks huge. From reading through all this stuff on their website and the videos, we've got, obviously, we're back in Vice City. So we have the city there. We have Leonida Keys, if I'm pronouncing that, which is kind of a tropical archipelago. This seems very much kind of based in Florida, really. And I'll turn.
I was just going to say, that's pretty much, you know.
Yeah, it's the Florida Keys, we'll call it. We have Grass Rivers, which is swampland, so watch out for alligators. We have Port Gellhorn, which is kind of a rundown old vacation town. We have Ambrosia. Yeah, it is Ambrosia. Sorry, I am reading that right. Which is like a company town built around a giant sugar refinery. And then Mount Calaga, which is like a national park. So big mountain, lots of forest land, lakes, etc. Great place to go, riding the bikes and the quads and stuff like that.
I mean, given the size of GTA 5's map, which was huge by game standards, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it felt fun driving around. And Vice City, obviously, we haven't played Vice City since what? God, when was that?
Was that just after GTA 3,
I
wasn't
think
it?
it was, yeah. So
We had
it
Vice
must be
City.
close to
Yeah.
20 years as well. And the trailers just look stunning. Now, I don't know if you've watched the latest one, but
Yeah.
Rockstar have said that was captured on a PlayStation 5.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And that was actually material. So speaking about hardware devices, unfortunately, there's still no mention of a PC release date. It still just
No.
says PlayStation 5, PS5 Pro, Xbox SX, but no release date or mention of PC, which is a bit disappointing.
That's okay. We've got Series X. We can play on that.
We have, but it's in the living room, and I have a bunch of kids that aren't 18.
I may,
so I'm
I
either
may
going
have
to steal the Xbox and take it to
that's
the
what
office.
I was just going to say. May have to read.
Sorry, kids. Daddy's stealing the Xbox.
May have to redeploy that. I feel yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Why can't I just bring it out on the PC? If they bring it out on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, they're all x86 now. They all use AMD graphics.
Let's put it this way:
it can't be that much work to make at least get the basic
No,
out on a PC.
it's not going to be on Game Pass for at least some time. Let's put it that way.
Oh, it won't be on Game Pass yet. We won't be able to Xbox Cloud stream it either, will we? So we're going to have to steal the Xbox. And I suspect it's going to be a 70, 80, 90 pound game.
I mean,
now that Nintendo have set the bar.
Yeah, I mean, how many copies did we buy of GTA 5? I think we have at least 6 between us, don't we?
Oh, it's like I bought it on the PlayStation 3 and then the Xbox and the PC. So I might have it on multiple on the PC because I wanted it for the Steam Deck. So I might have it on Steam as well as the Microsoft Store. So 4 at least.
I was to say, PS3, PS4, and PC was the ones I did it on.
Yeah, 3 or 4 copies.
Yeah,
so I might just have to do one this time, though.
I was just going to say, I couldn't tell you the last time.
Can't afford that and not 80, 90 quid a go.
Well, no, and I couldn't tell you the last time I bought a game as well. So actually, this is a good game. But I mean, yes, we got a whole year to worry about that. Pretty much almost exactly a year, isn't it, to do that? But I mean, the map looks brilliant. The gameplay looks amazing. We know about 2 of the protagonists already, don't we? There is a kind of a man and a woman. And it looks pretty good. We know that there's going to be some interest about the the kind of setup. We know that the female is called Lucia. We don't really know too much about it, but some appears to be something to do with prison. In that, whether she's been in prison or busted out of prison, we're not entirely sure. We've got a male protagonist as well who's had some different names and nothing official yet, but they appear to be in a relationship, don't they? So something around.
It's all on the website though. Check out the website.
Yeah,
there's lots of bios on the characters.
They've got published them. When I looked the other day, they hadn't published it. Okay, cool. So no,
it's all out now.
So I think this is going to be the major release of probably the next few years. Now there were some rumors, interestingly, weren't they, that Half-Life 3 had been kind of teed up, wouldn't it? And that there was some moving around. There was some weird rumors going on. Let's make it very clear: the chances of Half-Life 3 dropping at any time in the next 2 or 3 years is probably slim to nothing.
I mean, if they've moved GTA 6 to next year, I suspect we're going to get a number of larger games that were going to come out next year now come out this year.
Well, that is the problem as well, isn't it? That GTA 6 is kind of like it's a great white shark in a small pond, isn't it? And
no one wants to release a game at that point.
No, you can't. You've got to get out of the way because the minute you release anything, it's going to be disappeared. It's like a film, isn't it? You wouldn't want to release your film if there was a new blockbusters, I don't know, Marvel film coming out the same day. It's just pointless.
Yeah.
So we know that's coming. So
the rumor was on the Half-Life 3 that basically the game is complete or complete enough to have a walkthrough, and it's now kind of post-production kind of stages.
But at the same time, though, Gabe Newell always said that they didn't want to release any more Half-Life games unless they delivered some kind of progression, wasn't it? They pushed something forward. Now, in 2004, when Half-Life came out, Half-Life 2, excuse me, the kind of human-esque movements of the characters, the graphics. Do you remember the fire and the water? The physics engine. All of those were groundbreaking, weren't they? Today,
they were
pretty standard. So now you kind of got to think to yourself, what would Half-Life have to do to push this forward? And if you look at GTA 6, you know from that trailer. I mean, remember in GTA 5, just the small things that went on in the world around you.
Oh yeah, it made it feel like it was living, didn't
It
it?
did, and stuff happened, and also the clothes, the things that moved. There were so many tiny details in that game, and in this, and I've only had a quick watch of the trailer. You know that this has got the same, and they're going to take this to the nth degree as well with this game. So Half-Life 3 would have to deliver something absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, because we had Alex, didn't we? And that pushed VR forward. That was the show. Still is a showcase of VR.
But beyond that, what's it done?
No. It was all about the VR, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And VR really hasn't gone mainstream. Let's really be honest, isn't it? It hasn't gone mainstream.
No.
So
it's no, it has not. I mean, obviously the Quest and the Quest fees have shifted a lot, but that's still not spectacular VR, is it?
No,
most people that buy those are doing it for on-device kind of play. You're not getting Half-Life Alex on that.
No, and that's the thing. VR, you're right, is there, but it's not like it's not quite to the same degree of the old. Remember the 3D TVs that said we're going to revolutionise how you watch films at home. That died a death pretty quickly.
Still got one of those. Can't find the glasses, but we have one.
But VR hasn't kind of gone that way. But you're right, it hasn't become mainstream for gaming like I think a lot of people thought it would do.
Yeah.
So then, as more information comes out, we'll let you know. But I think pretty much all of the bare bones are there now. We know kind of when it's coming out, what it's going to look like. The only thing is obviously the price, which I suspect we're not going to see for some time on that. Right.
TikTok.
Oh, so last week, what was it? 570 million last week for Apple?
Oh, something like that, wasn't it?
And Meta was close to that as well, wasn't it? So what's TikTok got then? Because let's be honest, it's not going to be small change.
No, well, if we're talking euros, 530 million euros. They've been fined by Ireland's Data Protection Commission, the DPC, for violating GDPR regulations. This was basically involving the transfer of European users' data to China without adequate privacy protections, or I'm going to guess none at all.
Slim to none.
Yeah, exactly. So not only have they got that fine, they've also been issued an order requiring to bring its processing into compliance within 6 months, and during that time, they're required to suspend data transfer to China. So no more sending data back home until you've got your processes sorted out.
Are you surprised?
No, not in the slightest. I thought everyone knew this.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, they've under two items of GDPR, isn't it? So it's Article 46, as you say, which is the transfer, and Article 13, which was around transparency requirements, wasn't it? And you're right. Interestingly, it's the Irish again. They were the ones who fined Meta on Facebook quite a few times, haven't they?
Yeah.
But I think this is not going to deter TikTok personally.
No, exactly. And we're still not sure whether it's going to be bought or not.
Well, and more importantly, are they going to pay it?
I don't know.
Well,
I can see Trump stepping in and going, "Oh, it's not fair." Blah blah blah. European companies.
Well, don't forget,
they're not even a US company.
2 years ago, they got fined 360 million, didn't they, for violating GDPR?
Yeah, did they pay that? I don't
know if they did.
But they clearly didn't take any notice and just carried on.
Just carry on. Hopefully, if you look the other way long enough, things will carry on.
Well, be interesting. I actually had no idea how much TikTok make. Is 300 million just a drop in the ocean and the cost of doing business?
Well, this is 500 million, isn't it? That's the first time around.
Well,
so
it's 500. All right, is it just the cost of doing business?
And what was it? GDPR fines, wasn't it? 10%. Isn't it 10% or up to? So I can't remember what's it.
I can do up to 10% of the global annual turnover. Turnover, not profit. Yeah, something like that.
So there must be. It's billions, clearly, isn't it? To be fined 530 million.
Yeah, and that's not saying that's the full 10%. It can be up to. So I don't know.
I mean, what we don't know is that whether or not the Chinese authorities accessed any of that data. And then, we do know it's being sent back. I don't use TikTok. It's not really something I'm worried about. But I say as in my own personal usage. But I certainly wouldn't let my kids use TikTok. A, they're not old enough. But B, I just try to reduce some of this social media,
Oh, here we go. A quick Google. As of February 25, TikTok generated an estimated $23 billion in revenue for
Okay,
2024.
there we go then. So yeah,
So cost of doing business then, nothing will change.
nothing will change. But this is interesting because this particular find though it was part of an investigation that started 4 years ago though.
Yeah, 2021, wasn't it?
Yeah, so that's a long time. And it was interesting to say that the spokesperson for TikTok, Christine Grant, who was the head of public policy and government relations, said that the decision that from the DPC here didn't take into account Project Clover, which which made me laugh when I read this, which was a data security initiative that TikTok had put into place starting in 2021 to mitigate these issues. Well, it clearly isn't working, is it?
Well, yes, it clearly hasn't worked.
Because apparently they were building data centers in European countries, particularly starting in Dublin and in Norway, that would store all of the user data from Europe. Something.
Maybe we should hurry up with that.
Well, I'm thinking to you, your Project Clover isn't clearly working, is it?
No.
And it also, they went on to say that they've consistently said that we've never had a request for European data user from the Chinese authorities, and we've never provided that data to them at all. But yes, but there's a difference between admitting that you had given a warrant from the Chinese authorities and the Chinese authorities saying we want to see the data. Slightly two different ways.
And the Chinese authorities don't need to put in the request if it's just flown directly to their servers anyway.
Yeah, I guess I'm sure in the People's Republic of China, the idea of a warrant is probably not as the same as in European countries.
No, probably not. I'm not sure if due process happens.
No. But talking of due process, then we were talking last week about Apple and Epic, and
yes,
the slightly I want to say slightly unsurprising win that Epic have got based on Apple's non-compliance. And Tim Sweeney, I saw a quote from this week saying that they'd spent $1 billion on legal fees, but it was entirely worth it. Oh my god!
I'm sure it was. But yeah, he also said that they're going to relaunch iPhone. Relaunch Fortnite on the iPhone in the US. We were wondering how they were going to do that, considering their US developer account was terminated in 2020. But apparently,
they got away around it.
And they got away around it. And Apple has approved, allegedly, that they will be using their EU developer account, the one based in Sweden. That was basically approved so that Epic could launch their game store over here. I don't know. Is this Tim jumping the gun? Have Apple actually approved it? Will this actually go ahead?
Come on, Apple. What grounds would Apple have to say no?
Because they don't like him.
Yeah, but
I don't want to do business with Tim.
Can you imagine that?
Tim.
Can you imagine that Tim Sweeney goes back to the court with his legal team and went, so?
Tim said no.
Oh man, it's crazy times, but let's be honest, Tim Sweeney's won. He has won.
Yes, he has.
He's won.
Begrudgingly.
And Apple have shot themselves in the foot. And we've seen this
last
week.
Yes.
Since we talked about the changes that have happened in the Apple Store, those have been rolling out across different applications now. Many apps now have moved those restrictions in place that we talked about around things like, was it Spotify and Amazon Books. You can buy Kindle books now in the apps. All this stuff is already changing very rapidly. So it's unraveling very quickly for Apple, unfortunately.
Yeah, I do ponder so that when we have all these third-party stores everywhere and the third-party payment options and people get scammed from their money, who's liable for that and who's going to be blamed? I'm guessing it's not Tim Sweeney.
No. I mean, and Apple, we were talking about Apple making money, weren't we? So Apple, it's estimated that Apple made over $10 billion last year in App Store revenue.
Okay.
It'd be interesting to see what hit this is going to take on that. And as you say, the regulatory side of it, and people are getting scammed or problems like that. How long before?
Because I could see in 4 or 5 years Apple being pulled before the EU Commission, asking what they're going to be doing about people being scammed on the App Store, and Apple going, seriously?
Yeah.
Really? You want to go here?
Yeah,
We had this sorted, but you undid it all.
We fixed this problem, but you decided it wasn't.
Well, we made sure the problem didn't happen to
Well,
begin
yeah,
with.
we removed the issue. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see. I can just see it playing out like that. But yeah, what are you gonna do?
Well, yeah, exactly. What are you going to do? And I don't think a Fortnite is back yet, is it? I don't believe it's
I
there
don't
yet.
think so. No.
I checked yesterday; it wasn't back.
I mean, obviously we're not in the EU for the purposes of this. Well, we're not in the EU at all, but you know what I mean. We're over here in Europe. But has Epic actually launched their game store in Europe?
I don't know.
I don't know either way. So is Fortnite on the iPhone over here? Not in the UK, obviously, but is it actually in the rest of the European continents?
Do you know what? I'm going to have to quickly Google that, if you don't mind me saying so, sir.
Yeah, I don't actually know on
It
that
is available.
one.
Available on Android. Yes, the Epic Game Store is currently available on iOS, iPad, and exclusive in the EU. Yes, so it is.
Okay, yeah, we're a bit of an oddity here, being in Europe but not in the EU.
Yeah,
so we get caught
if you
tar
go
with
to
the same brush sometimes,
yeah,
don't
if
we?
you
But
go
not
if you
always.
go to Epic's webpage, you can see it. There's a link to it that tells you how to install it and how to get games on it. So yeah, it is there. Yeah.
So how long before we get it then? Not that I want to play that. I'm just
Well,
wondering when we're going to.
I would imagine if it goes back into the general stores, theoretically, we should see it in the UK not long after.
Yeah.
I guess.
Then obviously, I don't know. Yeah, obviously they had that last week in the US about payment stuff, but are we going to see that here? I know we have that in the EU, and we now potentially have that in the US.
You'd wonder that with the
are Apple just going to roll it out globally, or is it still only when they're sued and forced to have to do it?
Well, you'd hope with the cascade effect that it would, but I don't know.
I don't honestly. I don't know where this is going.
maybe. Well, we'll see. As soon as we get any further info, we will update you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
So, talking of comebacks, as we mentioned, Echo the Dolphin. It's a blast from the past. So, I remember playing that on the Mega Drive, or the Genesis, as it's called in the US. Great fun. I didn't own a Mega Drive. I had to go around a friend's house to play it. But we often played that one. But yeah, in an interview with a publication called Xbox Wire, the series' original creator, Ed Annunziata, said that both Echo the Dolphin and Echo Tides of Time are being remastered by himself and the original team, the entire original team, and a third game is in the works.
I mean, Echo the Dolphin, when did that come out? Was it 80s, early 90s?
90s some point, I'm sure.
92. Here we are, 92.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was, it was pixel graphics, wasn't it? Back then.
Yep.
Let's be honest. Are they going to remaster it properly? Is it just going to be the same? I mean, great game.
It seems like a passion project.
Yeah, do you know what?
Because he had,
that's a good.
He had tried to do it on Kickstarter before. He didn't own the original license to it, so he tried to make a spiritual successor. I can't remember what it was called now, but on Kickstarter back in 2013, but it didn't quite raise enough money to get the project off the ground. He then sued Sega for the rights to the original franchise. And ultimately, I think settled with them in 2016. So I'm presuming he owns the rights now, and so can now go ahead and actually make the Echo games.
Okay, all right, fair play. I mean,
yeah. So this seems like a labour of love to me.
Yeah, I was going to say it doesn't seem like anything else. You're right. He wants to bring it back. I mean, there were great games. I mean, I'd hope with modern graphics, especially with an Unreal Engine or something like that, you could make it look really good now, couldn't you?
Well, yeah, they did say the third game will be more modern. With modern technologies, so I don't know. Could we see 3D?
Careful 2D, now,
careful. We go into VR.
Yeah, I mean,
VR Dolphin.
But
don't know.
Remember all those games before, though, wasn't it? Are we going to get an Altered Beast remake? Can we get some Golden Axe remakes?
I'd love a Golden Axe one. I did love Golden Axe.
Was it Alex the Kid? There was other stuff
Alex
there.
The Kid, yeah.
We've already had Streets of Rage. We know that's been redone. We know that. That's already good.
Yeah, we had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Shinobi. That was the other one. Ninja one, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. That was the one.
I'm just...
most of the Nintendo ones have been redone because Nintendo just carried on, whereas Sega didn't really.
No, I mean, and then like stuff like I'm trying to think what was the other one. Double Dragon. That was another fighting one, wasn't it?
Double Dragon, yeah. Yep, I remember that one.
Yeah, there's so
But
many.
that predated Sega. I remember having Double Dragon on my Amstrad.
Yeah, that was a proper arcade game, wasn't it? I think it was a beat
It
'em up
was, yeah.
arcade game. But yeah, you're right. I think there's so many games there that come out. Problem is though, and I often say this: nostalgia is a a pain in the rear end because
Yes.
these things that we loved and played, you go back and play it again, and it's just like, oh my god, that's terrible.
Streets of Rage was one of those ones. It was a really good redo of Streets of Rage. Don't get me wrong, they did a great job of it, but gameplay's moved on since then. And while I had fond memories of the original, playing it as a kid with friends, not so much when I played the new version.
Yeah, and that's the thing, isn't it? And it is good, but it's just you're right, it's not the same.
No.
And the same with some other games. I went back and played some, on the ROMs that I've got, of course, legally, on my RetroPie.
Yep.
And you play some that it's just like, oh my god. But the thing is, though, when we were kids, we didn't know any better. We had no.
No, we didn't.
We had no better.
Exactly.
We didn't know anything. That this was all we had, and at the time, it was great. And of course, gaming's moved on now, and a bit like the conversation we had at the start around, moving games on, it has to really, really become something better, doesn't it? To make it more appealing. My favorite games. I think we talked about this before, but the Strike games, Desert Strike, and all that.
Oh yes, yeah. There's a new one that coming out. Not saying.
I was just going to say I can't remember.
Remake, isn't there?
Yeah,
that's soon, isn't it?
I think it is, and I can't remember what it's called. But I'm curious how that's going to be. I need to find that because I can't remember what it was called. I think we covered it.
I've got it on my Steam wish list, I think.
Yeah, I'll have to find it. But that was good because that was all the Jungle Strike, Urban Strike, and Nuclear Strike. They got a bit silly at the end because they were on PlayStation by that point.
Yeah,
but they weren't quite the same. But Desert Strike,
Cleared Hot was the game.
Which one, sorry, mate?
Cleared Hot.
Cleared Hot. That was
the name
it.
of the
remake. Yes, that was it, isn't it? Which is that kind of remake one. I don't know if it's out yet though, is it?
No, it's not. I'm still going to buy it on day one just to play it.
It does look good. It does, and it's kind of got that soft graphics, isn't it? It's the kind of the I can't think of there's a proper name for it, isn't there? But Microprose are publishing that, which is interesting.
Yeah, no, looking forward to that one.
Yeah, the only thing that's interesting, it's brought physics actions to it, though, isn't it? You can pick things up and kill people with, which a little bit different to before. But anyway,
we'll see.
We have digressed. So Echo the Dolphin, then it could be coming back then. So when's the release? Next year, is it? I think, isn't it? Potentially.
They haven't. I don't remember seeing a date on it.
I think on the Echo the Dolphin website, there's a countdown.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
All right.
Then I think if you work it out, it counts back down to it. Ends in April 25, 2026, apparently.
Okay, so next year at some point.
Potentially so. So then, come on in. Tell us all about this new Microsoft hardware.
Oh, shiny. Look, it wasn't a huge launch. We did get 2 new devices, so smaller devices actually. So we got a new Surface laptop, a 13-inch one. I think the other one was at 13.8 or 13.9-inch, and they did a bigger one, obviously. But so new 13-inch. Not surprising, all based on Qualcomm Snapdragon X. The entire range is now, it seems. So you get the X Plus, which is an 8-core processor. Only option of 16 gig of RAM though, but you've got the option of 256 or 512 SSD. They are stating 16 hours of battery life.
Okay, pretty cool.
They've kept the 3:2 aspect ratio, which I love. Gives you a bit of a taller screen, so easier when doing actual work. Though oddly, the resolution is only basically 1080p. It's a 1920 by 1080 60 hertz panel, which is a little disappointing. So it is a work machine, so it's designed for that. They have got rid of that Surface Connect charging port, which is the long blade kind of one that slides in magnetically.
Proprietary one, was it? Yes.
Yeah. They got rid of that now, and it's just USB as a pair of USB-C ports and the USB-A port. There's some shiny new colours. You've got violet, ocean, and platinum, or violet, grey, and silver to anyone else. Got rid of bizarrely got rid of the Windows Hello facial recognition, and it's just a fingerprint only.
Interesting move. Maybe a hardware issue, I guess, but I don't know.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe they're just trying to thin those bezels down. It was taking up the space without putting a notch on like Apple.
Yes.
Though Actually, you've got the notch. You don't get Face ID either, do you?
No,
There's no Face ID on a Mac,
no, there's no Face ID in a Mac. It's where the camera
but you
is.
do get a
But you
notch.
get, yeah, because the camera's positioned in there now.
The camera's there. Gotcha. Yeah. But it starts at a reasonable $899 though.
And isn't bad. And that's for the 12-inch device, isn't it? So the 12-inch.
That's the 13-inch.
Is it? Oh, sorry, 899. Sorry.
That's
Yes, 899 for the 13-inch.
a
Excuse me. Sorry.
13-inch. They did release a 12-inch. I think the last time we saw a 12-inch laptop was the Apple MacBook.
Funny enough, we were talking about this the other day, weren't we? And I saw one on
We were.
eBay, and I pinged it across to you and said, "Oh, I always wanted one of them. It was my dream machine. Now these days, it would be about as much use as a chocolate teapot. But the form factor was amazing. And now for them to bring out a 12-inch here is quite interesting.
Yeah, so not quite the same form factor as the Mac. This is a Surface Pro rather than a Surface laptop. So you get it's a tablet form factor, and you attach the keyboard, don't you? But pretty much the same specs as the larger 13-inch. You're getting the same Qualcomm 16 gig RAM, 256 storage. 12 bizarrely, the 12-inch display is a higher resolution, still 3x2, but you're getting 2196 by 1464, and it's 90 hertz. So definitely the better display.
That's pretty good.
No USB-A here, just a pair of USB 2 ports. Same colors, $799 starting price. But you do need, like an iPad, you need a keyboard. We don't need a keyboard, but if you want to do any real work on it, you need a keyboard. Yeah, you need a keyboard, which is $149, which is quite a bit cheaper than the iPad.
I was just going to say that they've gone for a slightly more, appropriate,
realistic,
price. Yeah,
reasonable.
Yeah, I think that's the way to look at it. Yeah.
So really, you're looking at $950 here, or £950 if you're in the UK, because it is a 1-for-1 on the old exchange there. But yeah, they do look nice. I'm looking forward to seeing some reviews, because I was quite tempted by the 12-inch one as a travel device.
Well, funny enough, I can't believe I'm saying this. I was too. I was like, it's a really nice looking device, and as long as it's responsive, that's a super key thing here, isn't it? Because Snapdragon, the words ARM and Windows just make me shudder. And I think, oh God, is this going to...
But apparently these new ones, these Snapdragon X, have been pretty good from reviews. Obviously, they're not going to set the world on fire. This is not a gaming machine or a gaming laptop. But for travel, your browsers, your work, office suites, Slack, communication, I think it's just going to eat it up, no problem whatsoever.
Yeah, I'm sure it will do. And they don't come with a power supply, do you notice that?
No, you have to pay extra because of USB-C.
Yeah, so they've gone with the app. We've got the EU model, I should argue, isn't it? And that.
Yeah,
I like it. I think it's a nice looking device. She said the colors. With the 12-inch, as you say, they start at $799 for 256, and then jump to $899, don't they, for the 512 model? But the specs stay the same. But you know what? I like it. I shouldn't say that, but I really like it.
Heresy
indeed. My Mac is going, but they're nice.
But yeah,
it's a really nice looking machine. And the pricing's, let's be honest, if the performance is there, then the pricing isn't a bad price.
No, exactly. I would love the option of 32 gig of RAM on it.
Well, yeah, because
I'd love to give those that option.
Yeah, you only get that on the 12-inch, 13-inch, don't you? Though, so
no, not even an option for 32 gig on the 13-inch.
I thought you did. I thought yes, it does.
No,
there's a Microsoft exclusive on their website. Snapdragon X 12 core platinum.
No, that's a different product.
The Surface Pro.
So, no, not Surface. Oh, sorry, I thought you were talking about the Surface laptop we just discussed.
Oh no, I say about Surface Pro. Sorry, that one gives you 30.
Oh yeah, if you go to the if you go to the Surface Pro 13-inch, not the Surface laptop.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, the Surface Pro. Sorry, I was looking at my notes. Yes, you're right. The too many surfaces.
Yeah, surfaces everywhere.
No, sorry, yes, with the laptop, you're right.
Yes, so the Surface Pro 13-inch, yes, you can.
But the laptop, you're right, doesn't give you that capability. But I guess that's the bullet you have to take, isn't it? For that.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I'll be interested to see what the reviews are like. And I'll about to say go play with it in the Microsoft store, but I don't think we have one in London anymore.
No, it's gone. Shut down. Yeah, it's gone. Absolutely gone.
It's gone. Darn it! Otherwise, I want to That's probably good, actually. Next time alone, we'll probably wander and look at it and walk out with a laptop each.
Yeah, but like, what happened there?
I've done it.
Not again.
Not again, yeah, exactly. So it's probably for the best.
It is probably for the best, but I don't know. I quite like. Do you know? I quite like the violet one. I was looking at the colours, and then I saw in the slightly the bigger one, which isn't the new one, but the bigger one.
Yeah, you get proper black,
like a
don't
black, and I'm like, oh damn you.
Yeah, exactly. I was hoping the black on the 12-inch one would have been nice.
Yeah, but you know what? Like I say, I'm curious to see the performance. I really want to know what the performance is like on these. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
and then you never know. It might be. I might end up with a Windows machine.
Why not?
Why not, indeed. So then, what we got next?
Oh, it's the rumour mill.
Ah, yes. I should have queued up the. Where is it?
Too busy thinking about that 12.
I forgot. My brain was.
Oh yeah, what colour I'm choosing here?
I was.
Yeah. So rumour mill. This I think probably the first time ever, but say it could be a departure from the norm. Apple are saying, well, not Apple themselves. The rumor is that for next year, because we're getting or allegedly getting the iPhone foldable one, that they're going to rejiggle the release schedule. So it looks like we might get the iPhone 18 Pro, the Air model, and the Fold in September, October, end of September, start of October time, as usual, depending on where the dates fall. But we're not going to get the standard iPhone 18 to spring 2027. And that should appear alongside an updated or a replacement 16E, so a 17E, I suppose, or an 18E, whatever it's called at that point.
That's interesting. I mean, but then again, I think about it. You're right. If you think about in spring, they typically release in spring.
New colour.
Well, the new colours and the budget phones, haven't they? Traditionally have been done.
Yes. Yeah, I suppose if they are introducing a new high end, then shift the low end, which is the standard iPhone now, I suppose. If you've got three higher end ones above it, along with the 16 or 18E.
And if it's, I mean, and this, if the folding one comes out next year,
I'll be buying one.
Or no, well, I guess this year isn't it a folding one technically because they're saying iPhone. No, sorry, the thin. Excuse me, the thin one. I mean, excuse me, the super thin.
The Air is this year.
If the Air comes out this year, the thin one, and it becomes kind of that middle ground phone.
It replaces the
Plus, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're right. If the folding one then, as you say, comes out in 26, that almost is another high grade premium device, isn't it?
It's above the Max, isn't it? Above the Pro Max.
Yeah. So you kind of right. They're getting to a point where you're almost going to have too many high end devices.
We'll be sitting there watching a 3-hour show come September.
Oh, don't! That's scary. I mean, look, it would make Apple sense to do that, and it also would expand their sales cycle as well, wouldn't they?
Yeah, it would.
And you think it would give them?
Yeah, right. I think it makes sense having too many devices all released at once. I don't think it works because people can't afford to buy. Well, I'm going to buy an iPad and an iPhone and a Mac all at the same time. You spread them out through the year, and it's a bit more manageable if you want to do that. Yeah,
and I think you're right because Apple have, kind of boxed themselves into this, September buying cycle, September October buying cycle, haven't they? Every year. Not that everybody upgrades every year, but if you now stagger that by another 6 months, you've widened the sales cycle. You're going to get more people probably into a different upgrade cycle as well, who might move between the devices. As well. Did you see though the other announcement around this? The thin phone, the 17 Air, that Apple apparently is rumored to be testing a new battery case for it.
Ah, yes, because the battery's not going to be as long lasting as people would hope.
No,
or come accustomed to.
So they're going to release a battery pack which is similar to the MagSafe one, that clicked on.
The MagSafe one that used to be out, they don't do anymore.
No, that came out with the iPhone 12. That this made me laugh when I was reading it. Would effectively make the phone as thick as a standard iPhone again.
Sure. Why not? Yeah.
I was just like,
I think they spent all the time going, can we do it? Can we do it? We can do it. We can do it. And then they give it to a user, and about 4 hours later, it's died battery. They've gone, yeah, there's a problem. No one thought of this.
Yeah, it's like, I think we may have shot ourselves in the foot.
Yeah, I wonder what the battery life will be on that. I suspect it's not going to last a day if they're having to introduce a battery pack.
No. But again, I guess...
Or not a day of heavy
Well,
use.
it depends, I guess, who are they targeting this at? If it's heavy users, like people like us who got a Pro,
yeah, it's not going to touch the Pro Max battery.
No, but I guess if it's more your casual, consumer, then it may be okay. And having the battery pack as a handy thing you can click on the back to do it, might help. But it did make me chuckle because you've got a super thin phone that then you need a battery pack for. Oh dear. But
indeed, yes.
Talking of batteries, I was looking at my battery earlier for my Pro Max. What we had it 6 months, haven't we? A bit longer than that now. How long we had them?
There we go. September.
Oh, it says here so mine says manufacture date August. First use September. I've had 161 cycles of the battery, and I'm at 100%. That's pretty good, I thought, actually.
Oh, let's have a look. Battery health normal. Oh, I'm at 100%. I've had 144 cycles.
Oh, you're less than mine. Okay, I have 20 more cycles than you then.
But still at 100%, so not bad.
No, it makes a change.
Mine was manufactured in July.
Yours is older than mine then. Let's have a look at my
September.
I've got my iPhone 14 here, which is uses my work phone these days, as you know. Battery health and charging. Maximum capacity is 82%. It doesn't give all that other additional information, how the new phones do, but it says 82%. That's not too bad, I suppose, is it? I mean, given what's the 14 is how many years? 2 years old?
At least 3 years old, is it?
Yeah.
About 3 years.
Yeah. Okay, that's not too bad. Not too bad at all.
It's not bad.
Well, that's probably a good place then for us to wrap up for today. We've before our batteries run out, boom boom. My throat's giving out. I've been dashing with a cold all week, and my throat. I've been drinking lots of water during the show to try and keep myself going. So managed to get to the end without dying, which is always a good thing. Right, we'll be back next week then for episode 207 and all of the latest tech news. Hopefully, you never know, Fortnite might be out by then. We'll give an update on that. And of course, any further news in the next week around the latest things at Epic or any other big finds that may be there as well, plus all the latest stories. So with that, I've been Jay.
I've been Karl. Have a good day all.